Keith, what do you think of the concept of war?
War. Well, wars are about the saddest thing that could ever happen in life. And unfortunately, they've always been, and they always will be, I guess, as long as this world goes on. But it is so unfortunate. And there's so many simple things that lead up to war, in the way I see it anyway. We're different cultures, different ways of thinking, different languages, different ways of speaking. And so that divides different groups. One group wants what the other group has, and the only way to do it is to fight for it, of course, or I mean, in man's way of thinking. But in answer to your question, what I think of war, I think it's a very sad thing that happens. And I was brought up during the Second World War and watched a lot of my family go off to fight the war in foreign countries, and watched the Japanese out of my grade school class being put in concentration camps, and watching our town emptied of men and the women going to work in the defense factories, and yet we survived. And from the standpoint of the Second World War, when I was a child, it brought us together. Everybody was proud to be an American. Everybody was willing to sacrifice. We had rationing. You couldn't buy meat. You couldn't buy coffee. You couldn't buy gasoline. You couldn't buy rubber. All these things were rationed. I got 2 pair of shoes a year, which for a fourth grader didn't really last long. But anyway, the war brought us together and made us all proud to be Americans, and made us proud to be willing to sacrifice for freedom. And I think from that standpoint, it was a wonderful time to be brought up in a very sad way. And I don't think that probably makes much sense to most people, but we saw people dying in the camps in Europe, in Auschwitz, and places like that. We knew the atrocities that were going on, but yet we knew also that if we didn't fight for our freedom, we would be in the same situation. So everybody was proud to be American and willing, I guess that's the word, willing to sacrifice or to give up. Nobody ever said we're losing our rights, or this isn't right for this to be happening to us. Everybody said this is the way it is, and we're going to make it work.